as part of my never-ending quest to get better at skateboarding, I really want to pay particular attention to balance and manual tricks this spring and summer as well. Like I said last time, I've been really excited about and kind of juiced on street parts, and what I've particularly enjoyed are the manual tricks. I love spinning tricks. I love watching manual tricks. I am terrible at manual tricks myself. Manuals were one of those things where I put them off for a really long time. I absolutely hated to practice them. And because I hated practicing them, because I had really struggled to enjoy practicing them, I didn't get very good at them compared to other things. I mean, I can do multiple kickflips in a row, but I cannot nose manual a single parking space. At least not without tons and tons of tries to do it. So this summer, I really want to kind of fix that. I've been doing a lot of stationary manuals at home, trying to build up some of those smaller, more, I guess you could call them even like niche muscles to skateboarding skills. So I've been working on that. I also want to share two things, or maybe a few more things that really helped me get started with manuals, then start sticking to manuals, and at least make progress in some respects. I am a big fan of stationary manuals. I know that they are often known as being harder than a regular manual, but I firmly believe, and have believed for years, that if you can do the harder version, can't you do the easier version? So I do think it's not a waste of time to work on manual stationary, especially because, like I said, there are so many like small niche muscles that you can kind of work those muscles back up, and it's also great to be able to do on like a rainy day inside. So big fan of stationary manuals. I think they were the one thing that pushed me over the edge from like really struggling in those beginning days. Like from there to being able to hold them longer in the first place. Also, of course, a big fan of goals and lines. Anywhere that you have a line. So like one line that I tend to use a lot is this big crack down this basketball court here. I try to manual a circle back around. I often lose speed because this ground is so rough. It really just eats up speed like right away. But it's still fun, and like there's little blocks around here, these little, I guess they're kind of painted on. I actually don't know what they're for, but those are also fun, like little mini manuals or something, just like a little goal. I know people really love to use parking lot lines. Around here, there's not a lot of parking lot lines. A lot of parking lots are rocks, or they're like this one here that doesn't have any lines whatsoever, just big open pavement or asphalt, I think it is. So yeah, kind of use what you have. Cracks work great, lines work great. Big fan of those. They're fun. No matter where you're skating or what you're doing, always turn around with a manual. And that was really easy for me when I was skating in the small pavilion. It's right over there. But in general, turning around, no matter what, with a manual was incredible practice for me to just keep balancing, keep trying, keep doing, and put in consistent practice into the manual when I was working on other things. So no matter what tricks I was working on, when I was going back and forth across my little spot here, I was always trying to turn around with a manual, and I still do that to this day. It's just more fun than just turning around, and also great practice. Try to diversify the manual practice. So recently I've been trying all kinds of things. One-footed manuals, one-footed spins, trying to get better at flamingos, nose manuals, G-turns, which feel like a lifetime away, a lifetime away. Spacewalks or balance practice. I mean, trying to diversify what I'm doing so it's not just the same thing over and over again. And so that I'm also just kind of like building up and improving my balance in general over a single manual trick. try to sneak manuals in between other tricks or into lines. So for me, I hate working on just manuals over and over and over again, but I do like doing other tricks and working on other skills. So putting a manual before it or after it, somewhere in the line, is a bit of a way to kind of force myself to work on a manual, or almost trick myself into working on it, because I'm not so focused on the manual itself, but the process in general. And that's really helps me work on other tricks as well, like walk the dogs and spacewalks, by putting them into a line instead of just working on them by themselves. When it comes to nose manuals, one tip that I got when I was first skating, I think actually from Bend to Grow, was to not have your foot straight across the board, but to have your foot tilted a little bit, so when you run out of it, it's just a little bit safer. And even though Ben was the first person who I saw actually say this tip out loud, if you watch pro skate videos, which I've been watching a lot of lately, there is a lot of kind of like foot slightly slanted down the nose or even the tail when you're doing manuals. So even though I first learned manuals with my foot, regular ones, straight against the board, I have started practicing them with my foot tilted a little bit, just so that like as I start to jump into manuals and get better at them, maybe as I start to ollie into them onto obstacles, even if my foot isn't perfectly straight down the board the way that I originally practiced them, I'd have a little bit more of maybe a fighting chance to hold the manual just by prepping, by kind of like moving my foot around on the tail a little bit straighter sometimes, a little bit more tilted other times. And I've found good luck there. Like at first it was kind of difficult to start tilting my foot, but now I've gotten a lot better at it, and they're a little more comfortable than they were, just to help me kind of prepare for whatever situation I might be when I hop into a manual. Also probably a good time to talk about what I was doing just now, which is kind of like a pop, like a little tap into nose manual. That's something, this tip actually first came to me from my good friend Maria. Maria's gotten really good at nose manuals and flamingos and G-turns. So when I was out skating with her last year, she told me that she learned them by kind of like doing this little bounce, little pop into nose. So I have been trying to work that into my practice a little bit. And since then, I did hear one other person who recommended doing that. So I've been giving it a go, and it is fun. And I think that if you keep the manuals playful and if you try to just enjoy them a little bit, think of it a little bit like dancing, like tinkering around, then it becomes a lot more enjoyable in general. And that's what I've been trying to do. Yeah, so normally if I'd just been practicing like straight manuals, including even just over lines, I'd probably be pretty frustrated at this point because, you know, it just takes time, and the progress comes over sessions and sessions and sessions of work, not just a few minutes normally. So mixing in other tricks and mixing in other kinds of manuals and trying to make the session a little bit more about exploration and playfulness. Now I'm going to work on stuff that truly frustrates me. So now that I'm kind of warmed up, feeling better, both off the front foot, flamingos and G-turns, cannot do either of them to save my life yet. I just gotta put in some reps today. Try not to get mad. I'm not mad, I don't really get mad, but I do get frustrated working on these. So I'm gonna try to not work into frustration, but work around it and still get in some good practice. The most obvious tip is to really just stick with it. I think that manuals can be one of those things that take a long time for some people to build up to and to get better at, but it's really about putting in the reps. As is everything with skateboarding, it's really a repetitive activity. Like, you just have to keep doing it, keep chipping away at it, keep building up these skill gauges over time, because I really want to be able to take the manuals to obstacles one day. Hopefully someday soon. I really want to be able to do that this summer. I love watching people skate kind of advanced or fun or playful manual tricks in their lines and in their street parts, and so I want to join those ranks of mani skaters. Anyways, I do hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it, and hope you're having fun.